Here's the top stories for January 18th. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. said on Saturday evening, January 17th, that the government's push to modernize airports and upgrade aviation infrastructure is central to boosting the economy, strengthening regional connectivity, and expanding opportunities for Filipinos. Speaking at Philippine Airlines' 85th anniversary celebration and the unveiling of its new Airbus A350-1000 at Villamor Air Base in Pasay City, Marcos said the government remains focused on world-class connectivity through sustained investments in infrastructure. The president urged private sector partners to continue working closely with the government to advance aviation-centered initiatives that boost the country's competitiveness and support national development. Saying there's simply no reason for it, two ranking Solons shrugged off rumors of a possible impeachment complaint against President Marcos in the ongoing 20th Congress. According to House Assistant Majority Leader Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adyong and Committee on Higher and Technical Education Chairman Tingog Party List, Representative Jude Asidre, there is still no complaint on the table, no facts to weigh, and no clear basis to justify such a serious proceeding under the tighter rules now governing the impeachment process. Adyong says that no one or no group is really coming forward to say that they will file an impeachment complaint against President Marcos, and on what grounds. Asidre agreed and said that there was simply no incident that could warrant the chief executive's impeachment. Senator Erwin Tulfo has joined calls to hold the Department of Environment and Natural Resources accountable over the lack of strict oversight in the landfill collapse in Barangay Benaliu, Cebu City. Based on records from the Bureau of Fire Protection, the death toll has reached 36, while 18 others were injured in the incident that occurred on January 8th. Tulfo, who visited the victims and families affected in the tragedy on Saturday, January 18th, pointed this out after witnessing the extent of the damage caused by the collapsed mountain of garbage that buried the building used as an office and bunkhouse for employees of the private landfill. The senator said it is imperative to hold accountable the agencies involved in the incident, particularly the Environment Management Bureau of the DENR, due to an alleged lack of strict oversight in the landfill's operations. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration said on early Sunday, January 18th, that Tropical Storm Ada has slightly weakened, but continues to pose weather hazards in parts of Luzon and the Visayas as it slowly moves east-northeastward. Earlier today, the State Weather Bureau said Ada was last located 135 kilometers east-northeast of Virac, Catanduanes, or about 395 kilometers east of Infanta, Quezon. It also said that Tropical Storm Ada maintains strength, wide, and reach. The State Weather Bureau warned that damaging winds, heavy rain, and hazardous sea conditions remain possible in affected areas despite the slight weakening. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei on Saturday branded U.S. President Donald Trump a criminal for backing protesters in Iran and blamed demonstrators for causing thousands of deaths. Khamenei said the protests had left several thousand people dead, marking the first indication from an Iranian leader of the extent of the scale of casualties from the wave of protests that began on December 28th and ended in a bloody crackdown. Iran has returned to an uneasy calm following a harsh crackdown on protests that broke out on December 28th over the country's struggling economy. According to the US-based human rights activists news agency, at least 3,308 people have died, exceeding that of any other round of protest or unrest in Iran in decades, and recalling the chaos surrounding the 1979 revolution. Stay updated with the latest news. Visit our website at www.mb.com.ph or follow us on social media. Thanks for tuning in to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown.